Why high value women are labeled high maintenance by low value men. Hello, my name is Chengi. I am your dating and relationship expert here at the Black Swan Relationship Academy. I am here today, ladies, to teach you how to present as a high value, high status, high worth woman that high quality men find completely irresistible. If that is you, then you are on the right channel. And of course, if you have a particular taste for masculine men, then you are absolutely on the right channel. And so today we're going to be talking about why and how to handle being labeled high maintenance. Now, this is something that I've heard coming to me over and over again. And I was talking to a client the other day, and she met this guy online, for instance, and they've been getting on like a house on fire. Long story short, he eventually decides to ask her on a date. It took a while, but he eventually decides that he was going to take her out on a date. She was feeling good because he's the only person she really had a good vibration with and resonance with. So he offers her a date hiking and then walking by the seaside. He would then walk her to her car. Of course, she is a black swan and she doesn't do low investment, no investment dates, as we know here at the Black Swan Relationship Academy. And so she said to him, you know what, I would really love to take a walk with you, but I really would rather, have a nice lunch. And perhaps if we're feeling up to it, we can take a walk by the beach, because I really want to wear something pretty. Now, she was obviously very flirtatious. I'm sort of ad-libbing, but that was around what she said. And most masculine men are going to be like, okay, something pretty for me. I'm in. Most men find, most masculine men love it when a woman makes an effort to look good for them and to look pretty for the date. So usually they're happy to facilitate. And this is also why, as high-value feminine women, we don't want to go on 0 or no dates, because it's very hard to present ourselves at our best. And obviously we want to make the very best impression. We don't want to polish up as we go along. We want to come polished. We want to set a standard about who we are. We want to show him how we treat ourselves so that he is clear about how to treat us. So if we show up for a low investment date in our trainers and our boots because it may seem fun, and yes, I get it, ladies, we love to. Some of us are not keen on formal dates. Yes, I know that some of us just totally have a hard time with the stuffiness of that first date, sitting at a table, going through all of the, the whole ritual, the whole courtship ritual, which I happen to really love. I love it, and I believe that every black swan should enjoy receiving attention, being treated like a lady, having investment into her. This is something that any feminine woman thrives from. This is part of being feminine. And I know it's difficult. It used to be difficult for me. I used to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be under a microscope and I'm going to have to behave. Sometimes it feels like you're auditioning for a part in a play. But when you understand femininity and you understand that we are at our very best and we are at our most feminine and we're at our most rested when we're receiving, and when we're receiving from a high value man who makes it his business for himself to be comfortable, to make us comfortable in his presence, to make us feel safe and make us feel comfortable in his presence, a high value man who's able to conduct interesting conversation, show interest in you, ask valuable questions, lead in the conversation, and we fill it up with great responses, fun responses, flirtatious responses. It is his job to hold frame and for the feminine woman to fill it with her wonderful presence, her essence, and her beauty. And so this is why we need to really just entertain men who are giving medium to high investment. This is really about him giving to you. It's really about him being in the masculine. It's not just about the fact that we want men to pay for stuff, because many of us can pay for ourselves, but we really want to be in that situation and in that position where a man is investing in us, and his investment in us, time, attention, yes, even finance, makes us realize and gives us an indication of his interest level in us. When a man has got a high interest level, which is the only interest level black swans will ever entertain, ever, then he is going to be highly invested, and we need to make it okay. So when a man is coming at you with a low investment, really what he's saying is, I want to do what I enjoy and I want you to come along and make it special for me, then this is a man who's definitely in his feminine energy, because he wants you to lead and to bring all of this, but he doesn't want to lead, doesn't want to create the framework where you can be at your best. And so this client said, look, I would rather do this. And of course, it turned into a thing. It turned into him basically accusing her of being high maintenance and using guilt, shame. Basically, I read you wrong. I thought you were different from all the other women. You're coming across as high maintenance and da 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 da. And so, obviously she was gutted because she's been creating this, relationship, but she's been a black swan for a long time and she doesn't take any nonsense. Well done. So she said to him, look, clearly we're very different. I'm sorry that you perceive me as high maintenance, but this is what and how I would like to at least meet you. I'd feel more comfortable, but if that's not the case, it appears as though we are not compatible, and therefore I wish you a pleasant day. The black swan way. What can I say? Always a lady, setting your standards, setting your boundaries. And obviously, if it's not a fit, it's not a fit. Guys you want don't want you. And the ones you don't want simply won't leave you alone. They say you are picky and have impossible standards. Your partner has lost attraction for you and you have no idea if he will stay or progress the relationship. The harder you try, the further he pulls away. You are starting to think you are cursed, that there's something fundamentally wrong with you. The truth is, you are not uniquely broken. You are simply ill-informed, uneducated, and ill-equipped. All the things that can be fixed. I am offering you an all-access pass into the Black Swan Nation, where you will receive access to all of the courses, mentoring and coaching calls. We are also offering a 100% no quibble money back guarantee if the academy isn't a fit for you. What are you waiting for? Get smart, be educated, and level up. Do it absolutely right now by clicking the link below. However, I realized that what I call simple is for many, many men high maintenance. I intend and expect to be treated like a lady in every shape, way, or form. And so for many men who have not been taught to be chivalrous or who are not masculine energy, this is high maintenance. And so it took a while for me to accept that, well, I am high maintenance to a low value man, and to a high value man, I'm exactly and precisely what he craves and deserves. Okay, so it's really about you understanding that whenever you are labeled high maintenance, this man is indicating to you that he cannot afford you. And I'm not talking about financials. I'm talking about his emotional mastery, his fortitude, his masculinity, and his being as a man is not able to meet you at the level that you are. And often with us, when we are labeled high maintenance or labeled anything really that doesn't really serve us or serve our spirit, our intention and our goal is to prove that person wrong, and so we end up going down a spiral. And so to continue with the story of my client, he then contacted her back and he was, I'm really sad that it didn't work. I don't want you to think that I'm a cheapskate. And he sent her pictures of, his expensive car, his expensive home, his boat, and all the things that he owns that makes him, he's like, I'm not a broke guy. It's just that obviously he had like a gold digger wound or whatever. We're not here to prove that we're innocent because we've been already told that we're guilty, right? So we're not gonna be here to say, look, I'm not a gold digger, I'm not high maintenance, I'm not all these things. And these are some of the traps that some of us fall into. This trap to prove that you're not high maintenance, prove you're not a gold digger. You don't have to prove any of that. You don't. What you have to be is your most elegant self. You have to be your best version of yourself. You have to be a wonderful date and bring just effervescence into the room and be the greatest date and have fun and be yourself and bring so much laughter and happiness to the table. This is what we bring as feminine women, and we shouldn't have to feel like we have to downgrade ourselves in order to meet a man's underdeveloped character. You know, men that we're dating have to be on the same level up journey that we're on. They have to be looking to be the better version of themselves, and so we cannot level down because we want to prove. And so he sends all these pictures, and you know, he doesn't want a woman who's gonna love him for his money. And so unfortunately she falls into the trap of having to explain herself. Well, she started to speak about her assets, her investments, and all the stuff that she has to show him that I don't need anything from you. But unfortunately it was never anything to do with that. It was to do with the fact that when a man meets, when most men who are low value meet a black swan, they feel naturally like they're punching above their weight. And remember, a high value man is not a rich man. A high value man is so much more. Is a man who understands his assignment on the earth, who is purpose driven, who is self-aware, self-assured, has a healthy confidence, and is comfortable to be in his masculine and be a provider, protector, and one who cherishes his feminine. These are the qualities that make a high value man, not money in the bank. So clearly this man was a low value rich guy, and I've done a video on low value wealthy men. Okay, so you can go and check that out. But the reality here is that, you know, she fell into the trap of having to explain herself. And thereafter, I knew that this was not going to be the way forward, because we shouldn't be having to explain ourselves. Eventually, he asks her on a date, goes out to dinner, and, you know, he puts on a big show. But at this point, she's completely lost attraction and invested more time than she needs to. Ladies, we don't need to wrestle men to the ground to treat us the way we deserve. We don't have to prove to them that we're not gold diggers. A man who is comfortable within himself and knows what he's worth is not going to care. Here's the truth. I said to my client, would he be speaking to you if you weren't so beautiful? She is a gorgeous babe, just like you, my darlings. She is gorgeous. And so I said to her, would he really be having a conversation with you if he did not find you attractive? What he is doing is simply saying, look, I don't want you to choose me for my money, but I want to choose you for your beauty. I want your beauty to inform my decision about being with you. He hardly knows you, but he wants you to invest based on his attraction to you. Would he be attracted to you if you weren't such a beautiful black swan? The reality of it is we take our time to take care of ourselves, to look good, to be good, to be whole, to be happy women, and that is attractive to them. Unfortunately, we can't hide that. I said to her, it's like really him asking you to wear a burqa. A man that wants a woman to not be attracted to him, to just choose him for who he is really like a woman who wears a burqa. You know, she's covering herself because she wants to be chosen for who she is. And we know that there's a whole different system that runs with that, arranged marriages and different things, because it's a different system. But in this situation, we are dealing with we have to show up. We can't wear a burqa. And so we don't sit there and say to the guy, listen, darling, I don't want you to like me because I'm pretty. I don't want you to like me because I'm an attractive woman. I want you to close your eyes throughout this whole day and just love me for me. We have to understand that any man who's requiring you to really prove you're not a gold digger by going on crappy dates, or, you know, I've heard so many of these stories of men who show up in, you know, crappy cars and, you know, these big shows they put on. And I said to her, look, if he wants to be loved for who he is, who he is also a wealthy man. That's also part of the matrix of who he is. Who he is created this wealth. Who he is created this abundance for himself. That's who he is. And if you were to take away that and just say, I want to love you for who you are, you're not loving him for who he is. You're loving him for part of what he is. And in the same way, if he was to love you despite your beauty, then he's still not loving all of you, because all of you is your beauty. All of you is your magnificence. So this idea of having to prove that I'm not a gold digger usually is a sign that you are dating a low value man. It doesn't matter if he's wearing the most expensive suit in the world. He is a low value man. He has low self-esteem. He has low self-worth, and he's most probably sitting in his feminine energy. And so we don't want that, ladies. We don't want to be afraid to be labeled high maintenance. Be proud of it. Take it on as a crown. Know that what he's really saying is that you're a black swan. I hope that this video helps, and I look forward to seeing you on my next one. And in the meantime, do take care of you. Love you lots. Bye bye now.